today's market, कौन सी इंडस्ट्रीज ऐसी है where you'd recommend कि ये इंडस्ट्री में पैसा डालना चाहिए?
Stocks which are related. So it is expected that sector is going to grow at 35-37% CAGR for the next 7-8 years.
ऐसे सब IPOs लगना is मतलब ये क्या लक पे होता है कि it is just
In 2020 में I think around 4 crore demat accounts थे. Okay, 4 crore and today there are 18 crore demat accounts.
एक डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टिंग करना चाहिए कि म्यूचुअल फंड्स इन्वेस्टिंग? What is better and why?
Markets is the place where you can actually make a fortune, but it's one of the most difficult places to make money as well.
अगर एक इंडिविजुअल है जो अभी मतलब जस्ट कॉलेज से पास आउट हुआ है, थोड़ा सा यंग है, 22, 23 एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट, टुडे 25,000 इज देयर समथिंग सैलरी. आज अगर उसके पास उतना फंड है, सो व्हाट शुड ही और शी डू विद देयर मनी?
So 12 lakhs at 15% will easily grow up to 80-85 lakhs at the end of 20 years. No, that is the power of compounding, Bhavya.
क्या आप एक 4 करोड़ का पोर्टफोलियो बनाना चाहते हैं? देन आज मैंने बात की है मेरे एक बहुत अच्छे दोस्त तेजस गोराडिया से, जो बिजनेस पार्टनर्स हैं मोतीलाल ओसवाल के एंड ऑलमोस्ट 2 डेकेड से ये इंडस्ट्री में है. हमने काफ़ी सारी चीज़ों के बारे में बात की है, टैक्स सेविंग फंड्स, म्यूचुअल फंड्स, इन्वेस्टमेंट स्ट्रैटेजी, कैसे ये सब चीज़ें जो बहुत बोरिंग साउंड होती है उसको एक सिंपल लैंग्वेज में हमने एक्सप्लेन किया है. तो ये बहुत ही इन्फॉर्मेटिव और इंटरेस्टिंग पॉडकास्ट है. ऑफ कोर्स अगर आपको हमारा काम अच्छा लगता है देन प्लीज सब्सक्राइब कीजिए हमारे चैनल को, इससे हमें मोटिवेशन मिलता है. ऑडियो प्लेटफॉर्म से आप नीचे आ जाएंगे, उसे भी फॉलो कीजिए, इंस्टाग्राम पे भी हमें फॉलो कीजिए एंड सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट वन. So hi Tejas and welcome to Expert Talk with Bhavya Desai. How are you feeling?
Thank you so much, first of all, Bhavya, for inviting me here. Of course, it's feeling great to sit across the couch with you. So yes.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting topic जिसके बारे में बात करना है because of course बात शुरू करने से पहले firstly I would of course like to introduce you to the viewers as well. जिन लोग काफ़ी लोग को ये पता नहीं होगा then obviously हम काफ़ी अच्छे दोस्त हैं and Tejas's company actually is the business partners for Motilal Oswal.
That's correct.
And you're also one of the partners in your own company.
Correct.
So of course he's representing his own company here as well.
Yes.
And because you have like really good in-depth knowledge about the market. So इसीलिए मुझे ऐसा लगा कि ये एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग और इम्पोर्टेंट कॉन्वर्सेशन हो सकता है, कंसिडरिंग कि आजकल के टाइम एंड सिनेरियो में मतलब कौन मार्केट्स में इन्वेस्ट नहीं कर रहा है. सब लोग मार्केट्स के बारे में काफ़ी बात करते रहते हैं, चाहे फिर वो यंगस्टर्स हो या इवन पीपल हु आर ऑलरेडी सीजन्ड इन्वेस्टर्स.
Absolutely.
तो काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग मतलब मैं बहुत लुक फॉरवर्ड कर रहा था इसके लिए एंड आई होप के विद द ग्रेट नॉलेज दैट यू हैव, सो उससे काफ़ी सारे व्यूअर्स लोग को भी काफ़ी इसमें हेल्प हो.
Absolutely, sure, Bhavya. I'll try my level best. And it's great to have a formal conversation with you. So we've always had many informal ones.
Right. Yeah,
so
actually,
great.
it's different for sure.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Okay. So first up, सबसे पहले अपना सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन, मतलब कि अभी के तारीख में आज के टाइम पे मार्केट्स मतलब कैसे हैं अकॉर्डिंग टू यू?
Okay. So see, Bhavya, right now the markets, like in the last 2 months, the markets were very volatile. So there was a decent correction in the markets in October and November. And in the last 15 days, it has pretty much stabilized. The markets have again started to come up.
Right.
So obviously there are a lot of reasons for that. Why had the markets corrected in October and November? So everybody was asking me, सब लोग पूछ रहे थे यार इतना बड़ा correction markets में आ गया. Stock prices had fallen by 30, 40, even 50% in some cases. So what was the reason for this fall? Everybody wanted to know the reason for this fall. So to answer this question, I'll actually have to go back 4.5 years.
Go.
So let's go back to February 2020. Okay. So February 2020 mein markets were at their all-time highs. So markets, I'll talk about Nifty levels. So Nifty tha around 12,100 ke levels pe tha. Then just in a month, obviously COVID hit us. So that's when the market crashed from 12,100 levels to 7,500 levels. Okay, so there was a crash of around 40% in the markets.
Right.
And stock prices obviously corrected even further. Now from March 2020 से लेके October 2024 तक markets में एक भी serious correction नहीं आया था.
Okay.
So from 7,500 levels in March, we've reached to levels of 26,200 in September. Okay, so that has been a fantastic run, a one side bull run. Obviously बीच में correction एक 2022 में आया था जब वो रशिया यूक्रेन का वॉर था, so तभी एक around 12 to 15% का correction आया था. बट भाभी उस पर डिफरेंस ये था ना कि ड्यूरिंग इवन दैट 2022 करेक्शन ना स्टॉक प्राइसेस हैड नॉट करेक्टेड मोर देन 15-20%.
Okay.
So the portfolios were not hurt during that time. Okay. So and even post that end of 2022 and early March 23 again वापस एक 8-10% का करेक्शन आया था मार्केट्स में. But post 2023 March, markets has had a one side run from say around 18,000 Nifty levels to 26. So that's like a 30-40% move.
Right.
Okay. Stocks के मैं movement बताऊँ तो crazy run they had given, like I'll say the BSE top 500 companies में लेने जाऊँ तो I think 28 companies in the last 4.5 years have given 10 times 10x returns, 10x plus returns. 43 companies between 5 and 10x returns. And 243 companies में आपने 2 से 5 गुना पैसा बनाया था. So this had been the run. So obviously market was looking for some kind of a reason to correct. You know, the prices had shot up through the roof. So yes, there were certain reasons. अभी एक तो देखने जाओ तो obviously there was the US elections. Okay, and markets had got a whiff that Trump could come back to power. So when Trump comes back to power, it is always going to be beneficial for the US US economy and the US stock markets. So the foreign institutional investors, they pulled out record money in October and November. तो अक्टूबर में उन लोगों ने approximately 1.25 करोड़ यहाँ से निकाला and they shifted it to different markets, mainly to the US.
Right.
So obviously one of the biggest reasons for a correction was that. Okay. Even China, Chinese stock markets were actually underperforming. They had not performed for the last 3-4 years. So their valuations were also pretty cheap. So market, that was also a good opportunity to shift money to a place like China. You can never write off China.
Right.
So वो भी एक reason था, and plus our markets were at hefty valuations. Large cap stocks देखो तो वो long term averages से 10-15% premium पे चल रहे थे. Mid caps 25-30% premium valuations पे.
Right.
Small caps 40-45%. So this correction was due. Okay. But जैसे बोलते हैं कि FIs, we always strongly believe that they are always going to come back to our markets. So actually what's happened in the last 15 days, they've again started coming back to our Indian market. They've started investing over here. So up till November end, FIs, they were net sellers in Indian markets in 2024.
Right.
But just in 1 week, 10 days, the amount of money they've pumped in, then again become net buyers.
Okay.
तो जैसे हम लोग बोलते कि वो सुबह का बुला शाम को वापस आ जाएगा, पर ये तो और जल्दी हो गया, ये दोपहर को ही वापस आ गया.
Got it. Right.
So
but मतलब इन लोग ने like you are saying कि almost 1.25 लाख करोड़ तक पुल आउट किया.
Correct.
And you are saying कि अभी ये दोपहर को ही आ गए घर पे.
Correct.
तो 10 दिन में अभी इन्होंने कितनी अमाउंट रफली इन्वेस्ट की है, थोड़ा अंदाजे से अगर आइडिया हो तो.
So in 10 days, I think 10 to 15 days, the figure I think is around 25-30,000 crores again they've put back into the Indian markets.
Nice.
Okay. So that obviously, see, there are numbers. So they've been also investing in a lot of IPOs, the new IPOs. So those numbers are again separate.
Right.
But 25-30 हजार करोड़ वापस तो आ ही गए markets में.
Wow.
And once these guys come, so it's not like one day they'll start selling, one day again they'll start buying. So that pattern remains.
Got it.
So they sold for 2 months, now they've come back. So we believe at least their buying will continue at least for some time. And normally December is a good month as far as FI's investment in India is concerned.
Got it.
So like
Why?
So normally 6-7 years in the last decade, out of 6-7 years, they've always been net buyers. See, one of the major reasons, US में their calendar year is from January to December.
Right.
Okay. तो उन लोग के भी like their mutual funds or so their mutual funds, the closing is in December. Okay. So they have to show good returns even in their books. तो वो जो December ending की जो closing होती है, that becomes important for them as well.
Right.
So ours is like from April to March.
Financial year.
Financial year. For them it's Jan to December.
Got it.
So that is also one of the reasons.
मतलब उन लोगों को दिखाना है कि हमने पैसा डाला और
पैसा and कमाया भी है. They made some good returns as well. करके.
Right. Got your point.
So they booked good profits in October, November. They were sitting on good profits as well. वो book किया है, but उसके बाद जब stocks 40-50% correct हुए हैं, they can come back. Certain stocks have come back to fair valuations.
Understand.
So it was good time to re-enter.
Okay.
Yes.
ये एक्चुअली ये ट्रम्प के बारे में आपने बोला, ये काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग है. द रीज़न इज़ बिकॉज नेचुरली अभी कोई लोग वो सोच रहे थे कि शायद वो जीते ना, बट देन ऑलमोस्ट नेक टू नेक रेस थी.
करेक्ट.
पर्सनली मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था कि एनीवेज दिस वाज गोइंग टू बी अ अपहिल टास्क बिकॉज वन दे हैव नेवर हैड अ फीमेल प्रेसिडेंट यूएस.
एब्सोल्युटली.
एंड आई डोंट नो फॉर सम रीजन इट सीम्स टू बी जिंक्स. लास्ट टाइम भी हिलरी क्लिंटन को भी हराया, अभी ये टाइम कमला हैरिस. ऑफ कोर्स इंडिया के लिए क्या है, इज इट गुड ट्रम्प आना या नहीं आना?
So see, for India, obviously Trump is better as compared to
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. So Trump was always a better option. So Trump has always been pro-business, right? So and see, India is also sharing better relationships with Trump, right? And now Trump has made it very clear. So his policies are more against China. So there has been a trade war against China.
Right.
तो वो हमेशा इंडिया को ही बेनिफिट होने वाला है. वॉट एवर ट्रेड वॉर हैपेंस विद चाइना, इंडिया इज ऑलवेज गोइंग टू बी द बेनिफिशियरी. सो या, आई मीन आई कैन से दैट यस, ट्रम्प इज अ बेटर ऑप्शन फॉर अस, दैट इज फॉर श्योर.
ओके. एंड सिमिलरली लाइक इंडियन गवर्नमेंट अभी ऑफ कोर्स एक जैसे बोलते हैं कंटिन्यूटी अच्छी होती है, तो इंडियन गवर्नमेंट भी वापस मोदी जी आए हैं इन शॉर्ट.
यस.
तो व्हाट इज इट लाइक फॉर इंडिया नाउ?
Oh, I mean, it's the best thing that could ever have happened, like for us. Modi ji jaisa leader will never find, and I'm happy to be a part. Happy to be a part of the markets when he's at the, at the top. So, I mean, our markets, like say Modi ji, this is their third term. Okay, this is their third term in power.
Right.
Now they have done so many reforms which have actually helped our economy in a massive way. Okay, so I mean, just let me give you certain examples. Some the kind of money they are pumping into the infrastructure of our company, of our country. I'm sorry. So make it roads. Our ports are better. Aviation sector is doing fantastic right now. So the number of airports India has built in the last 10 years is actually more than what we had done in the prior 65 years.
True.
Okay. So it's not only the physical infrastructure, but even you can talk about the digital infrastructure. Okay. So we are one of the first countries in the world to have adopted digital infrastructure, and that is also a very big thing for us. Apart from that, so this government has systematically, they've brought the current account deficit under control. Okay. तो उसके वजह से क्या हुआ है ना कि इवन योर इन्फ्लेशन इज ऑल्सो केप्ट अंडर चेक. नाउ देयर आर लाइक सी अ बिजनेस हाउस, say probably 10 years ago, if they wanted to raise money, they would have had to do it at around 12-13%.
Okay.
And currently any businesses can raise money at 7-8%. Okay.
True.
So it's because of the right ecosystem, the right platforms that has been set by this government. Even your housing loans.
Right.
Housing loans pehle kya tha? You used to, before a decade ago, it was around 13-14%. And today you can get it at 8-9.5%. Okay. The balance sheet of Indian corporates, it's at its all-time best, if you can say. So earlier, like say just before COVID, if Indian corporates, they had 80 units of borrowings on a market cap of 100. So that has come down to 40 units currently. Okay. So there has been a big deleveraging of the balance sheets for the corporates. Now, of course, when government is spending so much, so that also encourages the private sector to invest as well for capex and all. So all in all, now what happens now, Bhavya, see, when I am buying a stock, I'm actually buying a business. Okay? Now I want that business to grow. Now that business for growth, that growth should be sustainable. Okay. Then I should predict that growth. I should be seeing that ये growth होगा कि नहीं actually. And third most important, वो resilient होगा कि नहीं. Okay, will it stay resilient, because there are so many external factors that are coming through.
Right.
Now, because of all these government policies, okay, what is happening is that I can see a lot of businesses which can cover all these three aspects, and that makes it very important for me to invest for the long term in the market.
Right. मतलब एक conducive environment बनाया है.
Conducive environment बनाया है.
Right.
कौन बोल सकता था यार 3 साल पहले कि हम लोग सेमीकंडक्टर्स बना भी सकेंगे कि नहीं, but that's going to become a reality. End of 2025, India is actually going to start manufacturing semiconductors.
Right.
Nobody would have thought about it 3-4 years ago.
Got your point. नहीं बट सो ऑल ऑफ दिस मतलब एक नॉर्मल इन्वेस्टर के लिए सो बेसिकली ये सब चीजें अफेक्ट करती है टू क्रिएट अ एनवायरनमेंट जिससे ऑफ कोर्स द इंडिया स्टोरी प्रोजेक्ट होती है सब जगह और उसके वजह से देन इट हैज अ रिपल इफेक्ट ऑन एफआईआईएस कमिंग इन इंटरनेशनल इन्वेस्टर्स कमिंग इन तो द मार्केट गोस अप
एब्सोल्युटली
एंड मार्केट ऊपर गया तो मतलब ऑफ कोर्स जैसे गुजराती में बोलते जलसा ही जलसा इन्वेस्टर के लिए
राइट नो बट फॉर दैट सी as I told you, there has to be growth in the businesses as well. And for growth in the businesses, they also need the right infrastructure, they need the right platform for it. And that is what, so government has no business to stay in business.
Right.
Their responsibility is only to provide a platform. And that is what they are doing it and in the right way. Like say, even the implementation of GST.
Right.
GST implementation has brought about a lot of accountability. The compliances have improved. So all these small things put together is improving the entire, the mood of the business.
Got it.
Okay. Make in India. Oh, that is such a fantastic theme. Now, so much promotion of Make in India. पहले हम लोग defense के लिए we were dependent on outside countries. Look at our defense bills were very high.
I know.
So now we started manufacturing in India,
Right.
and we are actually we start exporting to other countries.
Yes, true.
Now that's a big benefit.
Yeah.
The railway industries, even railways also we had to import so many things. Now we started manufacturing here.
Right.
So many sectors and of course when you start manufacturing over here, that's also going to create so many job opportunities.
True, I agree. Okay. Yeah, it has a lot of ripple effects.
Yes.
ये इंटरेस्टिंग है ये डिफेंस और रेलवे ये सब चीज़ों के बारे में बात की तो मुझे एक्चुअली पूछना था कि अभी आजकल के एनवायरनमेंट में इन टुडेज मार्केट कौन सी इंडस्ट्रीज ऐसी है वेयर यूड रेकमेंड कि ये इंडस्ट्री में पैसा डालना चाहिए?
So see, industry as such, we've been tracking stocks which are related to artificial intelligence.
Okay.
So, that is a very interesting sector going forward. So it is expected that sector is going to grow at 35-37% CAGR for the next 7-8 years. Because that is one industry which all sectors will have to adopt.
Okay.
So, say artificial intelligence ले लो, cyber security ले लो. ठीक है, cyber security, you can see the amount of online frauds that are happening.
Yes.
And plus because we've also adapted to so much of digital payments and all, so ये सब बहुत important होगा. Then renewable energies, government is also giving a big push to renewables. Okay. So abhi recently only 2-3 companies got listed in the solar renewable sector. So like a Wari got Premier Energies. So those are fantastic companies. Okay, they have been backed by our Indian government. Okay, these sectors. So those sectors are looking very promising. Of course, the valuations are little high as of now.
Right.
So we need for them to come back to some reasonable valuations. Fintech companies is something we really prefer. Fintech companies. So again, in the last 4 years, where did the boom come in the stock markets? It's fintech companies were also responsible for it. Because a lot of these demat accounts and all got opened by these fintech companies. So yes, I see a long growth for these companies as well.
Understand.
And apart from that, as I told you, even I like the defense sector. Defense as a story, I'm finding it as a very structural story. It's here to stay. But yeah, obviously the valuations have become little lofty as of now. So we are waiting for a correction, and if we get it at decent valuation, so we have entered, say like defense stocks probably 2.5-3 years ago, and sold probably 30-40% of them.
Okay.
But yes, we are again waiting for the right opportunity to add on to them now.
Got it. But मतलब क्या levels पे enter किया and then उसको जब ये exit किया तो what was that 30-40% का?
So see, I'll just give you an example. So we had strongly recommended Cochin Shipyard to our client. Okay. So Cochin Shipyard we had recommended at the levels of 300. Okay. So that was around I believe in 2021 and 2022 beginning. So from 300 it moved up to 2800 in a matter of 2 years. 2.5 years. So it has had one of the strongest bull run. So around between 25-2800 levels, we've sold off around 30-40% of the stock.
Got it.
And again, it's not a recommendation. So and then from 2800 it corrected down again to 1200 levels very recently in the October-November fall. So now again we are finding it comfortable to add at these levels.
Right, right.
तो कोचिन ये levels पे अच्छा लग रहा है. HAL we had bought. HAL was one of the multi baggers you may say.
Right.
तो HAL अभी भी बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. Okay. And which else?
बट HAL और ये सब थोड़ा सा ऑलरेडी हाई लॉफ्टी वैल्यूएशंस पे नहीं है, बिकॉज मुझे पता है कि काफ़ी सारे जो इन्वेस्टर्स हैं, आई मीन टू से रिटेल नेचुरली, जो कंज्यूमर्स हैं, उन लोग ने काफ़ी, जब HAL का काफ़ी आया था तभी पब्लिक ने बहुत इन्वेस्ट किया, एंड देन इट काइंड ऑफ प्लेटोड, फिर थोड़ा नीचे आ गया एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट, बट इट्स स्टिल फंडामेंटली अभी भी एक अच्छा कंपनी है.
Yeah, absolutely. I do not find any kind of competition only to HL.
Yeah, it's
okay,
government.
And you see, and it's government, and plus, the kind of order book, so there is visibility for growth and sales for the next 10 years.
Yes.
So what needs to be seen is only the execution part, how well they execute their orders.
Right.
So of course, recently it was in news that there has been some delay of some jets. I mean, it got delayed by a year and all. So this is all what we need to see, only the execution part.
Got your point. ये बहुत common है actually, because defense is the industry that we are in. तो
Yes.
ये बहुत ही नॉर्मल, बट एज यू सेड राइटली, ऑर्डर बुक इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
Order book, yes.
सब ये कंपनीज हैं, उनके ऑर्डर बुक आर लाइक इन आई थिंक मे बी 80, 90, 100,000 करोड़.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I was telling you कि मुझे क्या चाहिए, मुझे कंपनी में I need to see growth की visibility भी दिखनी चाहिए, तो I can at least see that visibility over here. Now I just need to track the execution part.
Understood.
If they are executing quarter and quarter, that is what I just need to check.
Understand. ये वरे इंजीनियरिंग का बात किया आपने, वो मतलब उसमें
Vari
तो
Energies.
वारे एनर्जी,
Vari Energy. Yeah.
उसमें तो मतलब आई थिंक इट वाज ओवर सब्सक्राइब बाय समथिंग 80 टाइम्स और समथिंग.
Yeah. It was like I think one of the highest, highest oversubscribed.
ऐसे सब IPOs लगना इज इट इवन, मतलब ये क्या लक पे होता है कि इट इज जस्ट, इज देयर अ स्ट्रेटजी कि कोई IPO के लिए अगर आप बिड कर रहे हो?
There is no strategy as such. So basically, so obviously you have to, वो बोलते हैं ना, depends on कितने अच्छे कर्म किए आपने पहले, इसके ऊपर होता है. तो कर्म अच्छे करते रहो तो कभी ना कभी तो लगेगा. But they have to follow, they have to follow a fixed process.
Got it.
So it's all, it's all in place.
So मतलब मुझे कोई IPO अभी तक लगा नहीं, मतलब मैंने अच्छे कर्म किए ही नहीं.
No, so Vari was a very interesting story. So Vari, we had done a lot in the last 2 years, even in the unlisted space. So I believe that people have bought large chunks when Vari was 250 rupees just a year and a half ago. So from 250 in just 3 months, it moved up to 550, then 850, 1200, and then 25, 2600 तक भी grey market में उसका price चल रहा था. And that is what it got listed at.
Yeah, actually.
So, that it's currently, I think, at some around 60, 70 Ps, what it is trading on. So, the valuations are heavy, but, I mean, the outlook on that sector is, I think it's very promising.
Got your point.
Yeah.
And foreseeable future के लिए अभी जो मतलब market volatility है, वो मतलब you think it's kind of over, and जितना correct हुआ है और corrections आने की possibility है?
So, see, Bhavya, last 4.5 years में approximately, like if you consider from the COVID lows, markets have given returns of around 28-30% CAGR का returns दिया है. 7,500 वाला 26 पकड़ो तो 3.5 गुना हुआ है. So that comes up to 28-30%. Now is the time you should, temper down your expectations.
Okay.
I don't think that you are going to get similar kind of returns in the next, foreseeable 1-2 years at least.
Right.
So there might be time-wise correction in certain stocks, as well as price-wise correction as well in certain stocks. Okay. Volatility is here to stay, I feel. Okay. Now, again, that depends on a lot of external factors as well. Now, like Trump will actually resume power in January. So what are the kind of policies that they are going to talk about? Okay. What is going to be their stance on India, on China? So even that will also matter a lot. Apart from that, geopolitical risks are always there. Right. Russia, Ukraine हो गया, Israel, Hamas हो गया, क्या पता नहीं कौन सा नया आ जाएगा, पता नहीं. So because that determines even the oil prices.
Yes.
और अपने, for a country like India where we import so much of oil, तो oil prices also is very crucial.
उसके वजह से सब goods, cost of goods basically ऊपर आता है, तो everything becomes problem.
And plus above average equity valuations है अपनी अभी. So all these factors put together, I feel that you should expect anything between 10-12% returns, that is what should be your expectation.
जो मतलब एक अच्छा रिटर्न है, decent है.
Absolutely, yeah, 12% is fantastic. Now, if you consider the inflation beating returns, inflation अब 6-6.5% भी ले लो, and if you have been invested for the last 4 years, you've made fantastic returns. Then there will always going to be some average years as well.
Got your point.
So thus 12% is absolutely not bad. It's
Got
great returns.
But एक normal retail investor के लिए मतलब तो स्ट्रैटेजी किस हिसाब से होनी चाहिए, मतलब कि जब भी आई नो के इंडस्ट्री वाले जो होते हैं ऑफ कोर्स वो लोग यूजुअली जब भी डिप्स आते हैं तभी दे प्रेफर इन्वेस्टिंग सो दैट यू कैन एवरेज इट आउट, बट नॉर्मल एक रिटेलर के लिए मतलब अभी का टाइम इज इट अ टाइम वेयर दे शुड लाइक प्रॉब्ली जस्ट सक इट अप अ लिटिल बिट एंड और थोड़ा सा इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए करंटली, क्योंकि काफी सारे लोग ने ऑफ कोर्स ये बुल रन में इन्वेस्ट किया है और उनके पोर्टफोलियोज नीचे दिख रहे हैं थोड़े.
करेक्ट.
तो ये टाइम है इन्वेस्ट करने का.
So see, again, it depends on which sectors.
Okay.
It depends on sectors. It depends on stocks.
Got it.
So I would say the private banking has actually done nothing in the last 3-4 years. Okay, certain. So that is one sector we are liking.
Okay.
I told you about the valuations, the large cap, the mid and small is a little risky. So we are preferring and recommending more of large cap stocks.
Got it.
तो वो हम लोग recommend कर रहे हैं. So yes, you can surely add large cap stocks on dips. That is what you can do. As far as if you're doing it through the SIP mode, then currently at these levels, we recommend that, in case if you're looking to invest a lump sum, then we would prefer that, you invest that over a period of 12 months rather than putting all at one go. So that is our recommendation, because we think that volatility will be here and you might get stocks at better valuations in the next 3 to 4 months or next 3-6 months.
बट एक यू थिंक ऐसा एक रिटेल इन्वेस्टर ऐसा करता है यूजुअली माइंडसेट के हिसाब से. सी आई नो मतलब स्ट्रैटेजी बहुत सिंपल है कि अगर आपके पास 100 रुपए हैं तो 100 रुपए को 12 महीने में डालो, पूरे 100 को एक साथ मत डाल दो, सो दैट यू कैन कैच दी. कैन यू जस्ट एक्सप्लेन व्हाई फर्स्टली एक इंडस्ट्री में जो रेगुलर इन्वेस्टर होता है वो क्यों ये स्ट्रैटेजी अपनाता है?
ओके, सी इट्स वेरी सिंपल. ओके, हैड यू आस्क्ड मी दिस क्वेश्चन ड्यूरिंग कोविड, okay, 2 scenarios. एक तो COVID था, that time you would have told me that I have 10 lakh rupees, what should I do with that 10 lakh rupees? I would have told you a simple straight answer, put all your 10 lakhs at one go, because the markets were at their all-time lows.
Low, right.
Simple. आज क्या है, the markets are close to their all-time highs. Okay, so at this point of time, there are chances, as I told you, markets are at hefty valuations, so there are chances of a correction. Then why would you want to put all your money only at those higher levels? So rather, even see, I also don't know what's going to happen in the next 3-6 months, nor would anybody else tell you precisely.
Right.
But there is a possibility, a stronger possibility of a correction. So at that point of time, what we tell normally, so clients are like, but yes, मेरे बैंक अकाउंट में पैसा पड़ा रहेगा, मैं 12 months, तो मेरा पैसा क्या पता, it will get used up somewhere else.
Exactly.
तो इसके लिए हम लोग सिंपल करते हैं, we just tell our clients कि भाई we put their money into a liquid account, okay, और liquid account में से हर महीने systematically it's called a STP, systematically it gets transferred to equity mutual funds. So that is what we do, because सबका यही मुझे आता है कि yes, अभी मेरे पास ये पैसा है, मेरे पता नहीं है बैंक में रहेगा कि नहीं, you take this amount and you do whatever you want to do it. So this is what, that's the reason. It's just simple, markets highs पे है तो
बिकॉज से आज एक स्टॉक आपने अगर 5 रुपए में खरीदा टुडे बाय इन्वेस्टिंग लाइक 5 रुपीस एंड देन इफ इट कम्स टू 1 रुपी देन यू कैन गेट द बेनिफिट ऑफ एवरेजिंग इट आउट एट 2.5.
एब्सोल्युटली, द कॉस्ट एवरेजिंग, व्हाट दैट इज व्हाट एसआईपी इज फॉर, तो वो कॉस्ट एवरेजिंग अपना हो जाएगा.
गॉट योर पॉइंट. ओके, एक डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टिंग करना चाहिए कि म्यूचुअल फंड्स इन्वेस्टिंग, व्हाट इज बेटर एंड व्हाई?
ओके, now see, I'll just tell you, direct investing is, for direct investing, first of all, you need to have the knowledge, you need to have the expertise, and most importantly, you need to have the time for it. Okay. So, my son had asked me that, Dad, ये markets में बहुत पैसा बनता है क्या? So I told him a very simple answer that, yes, markets is the place where you can actually make a fortune, but it's one of the most difficult places to make money as well. Okay, so you have to actually put in a lot of efforts, like you are currently putting in for your work. तो भाई देखो, डायरेक्ट के लिए अगर तुम्हारे पास टाइम है, यू हैव टू रिसर्च द स्टॉक, यू हैव टू रिसर्च द इंडस्ट्री दैट दे आर इन, यू हैव टू रीड देयर बैलेंस शीट, यू हैव टू मीट द मैनेजमेंट, अटेंड कॉन कॉल्स, ये सब करना है जस्ट बिहाइंड वन स्टॉक. ठीक है, चलो रिटर्न्स देखेंगे तो यस, इफ यू आर इफ यू आर एबल टू आइडेंटिफाई सच काइंड ऑफ कंपनीज देन नथिंग लाइक इट, लाइक एन एचडीएफसी बैंक ले लो। अब एचडीएफसी बैंक तुमने 2005 में लिया था, तो 2005 में लिया था, आई थिंक वाज एट एडजस्टिंग आफ्टर ऑल द कॉर्पोरेट एडजस्टमेंट्स के बाद वो 40-45 रुपीज पे था, जो आज 1800 हो गया। सो इट्स काइंड ऑफ बिकम अ 40 बैगर फॉर यू इन 20 years. But then you should have had the patience, you should to hold it for such a long time. Like, contrary, there is a HDFC Flexi Cap mutual fund, okay, which is one of the flagship fund of HDFC,
okay,
which had got launched in 1995. अब उसका भी प्राइस 2004-5 में 40-45 रुपए, that was the NAV of that fund,
right,
and that fund today is also 2000. Okay. Now the difference is that money you've put in the mutual fund, there was a big diversification also in that fund. There were a lot of different other stocks as well. Different sectors get covered. So roughly एक mutual fund में ना, there are 50 to 65 stocks depending on the fund. So they cover all different type of sectors. Why would I suggest if you don't have the time and expertise, then I would always recommend you invest to the mutual fund route. Okay? So you don't have to track the companies. Now different sectors will perform in different market conditions. अब कोविड ही ले लो, कोविड में एवरीथिंग वाज शट, ओके, बट ओनली द स्टॉक मार्केट्स ऐसा प्लेस था विच वाज वर्किंग ऑल द डेज, एक दिन भी बंद नहीं था स्टॉक मार्केट। So that was a big opportunity for all these AMC companies, ले लो, these fintech companies ले लो.
Right.
It was a great opportunity for them in the last 3-4 years. Even I know a friend, वो COVID में, so he's into IT hardware में. He told me कि यार COVID का मेरा एक साल was one of the best for me in my entire career, because it was work from home, so everybody had a requirement for all kind of IT solutions. So it was a fantastic year for him. So my point to you is that different sectors perform during different time frames.
Right.
So you would rather want to have a pie in each and every sector.
Got it.
तो बोलते हैं ना, कभी भाई ये घोड़ा दौड़ेगा, कभी दूसरा दौड़ेगा, but eventually I will make a reasonable amount of returns.
Got it.
And I gave you the example of HDFC Bank and this. Both have given you same amount of returns. दोनों का same returns है. So it's around 19.5-20% CAGR you've made in HDFC Bank, and that's what this fund has also given it to you.
Got it.
No.
But from a general standpoint, then मतलब is it more अभी like you said कि 40-45 का था HDFC, and जब 20 साल हो गए, 20 साल में almost 18 and 2000 दोनों same ही आया.
Correct.
Technically speaking.
Correct.
So मेरी understanding correct है कि possibility of direct investing into the market via obviously a stock, 10 में से शायद 1 या 2 ही ऐसे आपके लग जाएंगे, whereas म्यूचुअल फंड में श्योरिटी है कि वो 100% 20 साल में उतना पहुंचेगा ही, more or less.
So that's a fantastic question. So that is what I'm saying. See now, yes, you are absolutely correct. But see, you 10 में से 1-2 also multi-baggers if you have in your portfolio, that will take care of your entire portfolio. Okay. And that's how then average of 18-19% you will make but for that it's very important that you find a multi-bagger and then you hold on to it for a very long time till it needs to be held.
Got it.
So, and on the other hand, as I said, see, I mean, mutual funds, my company, my company is 85% of our investments, we are doing it through the mutual fund route.
Got it.
So I've been sitting in front of the screen for the last 2 decades now. But then I thought यार दोनों में ज़्यादा difference नहीं, यहाँ भी मुझे इतने returns मिल ही जाते, rather I would focus on other activities of my business. तो मैं उस पे focus कर रहा हूँ, letting the professionals do their job.
Got your point.
So mutual funds also we track around 50-70 mutual funds, which is more than enough.
Got it.
And that's where all my clients' money is in these funds. अच्छा returns दे रहे हैं. So direct also, yes. As I said, यार, if you have the time, you are, if you're ready to give that kind of commitment, देने को ready हो, तो nothing like it, you can always try.
Got it. ये interesting actually, strategy wise what you said is quite interesting. इससे मेरे दिमाग में एक question आ रहा है. Like say for example, let's talk practical solutions और practical case scenarios के बारे में. अभी समझो for example, अगर एक individual है जो अभी मतलब just कॉलेज से पास आउट हुआ है, थोड़ा सा यंग है, 22-23 and all of that. Today 25,000 is their something salary. Okay. Let's start थिंकिंग लाइक दैट कि वो बेस इतना तो शुरू कर रहा है.
करेक्ट.
ओके, आज अगर उसके पास उतना फंड है, सो व्हाट शुड ही और शी डू विद देयर मनी?
Okay. So see, first of all, investing, now we always believe investing should be goal-based investing.
ओके.
So वो बोलते हैं ना कि an investment, without a goal is just like a dream. ऐसा हो गया. You need to have a goal in mind. Now, चलो consider you said it's somebody is a 25-year-old with a salary of 25,000 rupees. So of course, like in the expecting that person to get married in the next around 4-5 years, he should be getting married. He'll be starting a family. Okay, very soon. So his first immediate goal would be probably his own marriage. Okay. Post that, once he starts a family, his kids' higher education. No, that is one of the life's most important goal as of now. Okay. Now, education is growing at the education cost is going at 10%. So assuming an MBA today is 30 lakhs, is going to cost you, I think, 75-80 lakhs after 10 years.
Yeah,
okay,
easily.
so that is the cost. So you have to cover those kind of things. So let's assume पहले ये 25 साल वाले के लिए उसका सिर्फ his marriage and then his kids' higher education. That is what he needs to plan. I just recommend start with an SIP in mutual fund, just a 5,000 rupees SIP. 5,000 rupees SIP for 20 years will help him achieve a target of 80-85 lakh rupees. That should take care of his child's higher education. Depending, I'm just saying. But 5,000 is something what he can easily, out of a salary of 25,000, he can at least contribute. He should be contributing at least 5,000 towards investments.
Got your point.
That is.
So, मतलब 5,000 per month, मतलब 60,000 a year.
Yeah.
In short, yeah, into what you call 20 years.
20 years.
Right. So 1 crore 20 lakh roughly around उसने.
No, 60,000. So 60,000, that is 12 lakh rupees. Approximately
Right.
12 lakhs he would have invested. And that 12 lakhs is easily at even.
इतना?
So 12 lakhs at 15% will easily grow up to 80-85 lakhs at the end of 20 years. No, that is the power of compounding, Bhavya. So that is what, this generation needs to understand. कि ये markets में पैसा long term में fantastic बनता है. Okay, super बनता है market में. But for that you need to stay invested for the long term. And this power of compounding, so हम लोग के, we call it the 8th wonder of the world. That's like, you only told me ये 12 lakhs का इतना बन जाएगा. Now imagine, so एक 15-15 का rule है. You want to make a crore, 15,000 for 15 years at 15% expected rate of returns will make you a crore. Now you continue that for another 15 years, okay? Another 15 years, that 1 crore becomes 30 crores. Now that's the magic and power of compounding. That is what everybody just needs to understand. इसमें कोई rocket science नहीं है, just patient रहना, discipline रहना, you can make.
And ये एकदम conservative.
एकदम conservative. I am saying.
Because 15% is quite a decent return.
So 15% markets have delivered 15% returns over longer periods of time. Even if you have invested in the Nifty, तो Nifty ने भी 14-15% returns दिया ही है. See, currently the markets are at highs. A lot of my mutual funds, which I had bought say 12 years ago, are giving me returns of 21-22%. Those are the kind of returns I'm getting. Like even just in an HDFC Flexi Cap fund, I had invested in 2012. That's when I started. It's giving me returns of I think current returns is at 20.5% पे चल रहा है. तो भी मैं तो सिर्फ 15% ही assume कर रहा हूँ. मुझे मालूम है these are not normal returns. 15% ही मैं assume कर रहा हूँ. So I'll tell you, superb. I mean, in 2012, that is when I planned for my retirement fund. So 2012, I was exactly 32 years old. बोला चलो अभी ये राइट टाइम है, मुझे मेरी रिटायरमेंट के लिए एक कॉपस बनाना. सो आई स्टार्टेड इन्वेस्टिंग इन 3 फंड्स, 2,000 रुपीज़ का SIP. सो टोटल 6,000 रुपीज़ का SIP किया मैंने, और 3 फंड में मैंने डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया. सो इट वाज वन वाज अ लार्ज कैप फंड, अ मिड कैप एंड अ स्मॉल कैप. बिकॉज आई हैड टाइम इन हैंड, तो मैंने थोड़ा अग्रेसिव स्मॉल कैप में भी डाला. 30 साल है तो आई कैन बी अ लिटिल अग्रेसिव. सो दैट, as I told you, it is right now compounding. Abhi just exactly 12 years ka ande, it's compounding at 20%. No, forget 20%. I will only consider it at 15%. So after 30 years, if this 6,000 compounds at 15% only, 15% पे भी, तो मालूम है 30 years के बाद मेरा कॉपस कितना बनने वाला है इसका? तो कॉपस is going to become 4.2 crore rupees. 4.2 crore and in 30 years I would have just invested 22 lakh rupees. 22 lakhs का 4.2 crores बनेगा. And so हम लोग के म्यूचुअल फंड में भी एक ब्रह्मास्त्र है. I call it a ब्रह्मास्त्र. So एक कॉम्बिनेशन है. So that's a combination of a SIP and a SWP. Like ब्रह्मा एंड अस्त्र मिलके ब्रह्मास्त्र हुआ, तो वैसे एक SIP and SW मिलके भी एक ब्रह्मास्त्र हुआ. तो ये ब्रह्मास्त्र का क्या हुआ, मैंने चलो SIP तो पहले मैंने चालू कर दी. When I'll turn 60, I'll have a corpus of समझो 4.2 crore rupees. तो अभी now it's the time to use the second part of ब्रह्मास्त्र, that is SWP, which is systematic withdrawal plan. अब मैं तो रिटायर हो गया, मेरे पास तो कुछ आई नीड अ रेगुलर इनकम. तो व्हाट आई डू, दिस 4.2 crores में से ना आई विल विड्रॉ ओनली 6% एनुअली. ओके, 6% मैं एनुअली करता हूँ. तो 4.2 crores का रफली इट कम्स अप टू अराउंड 25 लाख रुपीज. तो मंथली मेरा एक इनकम 2,10,000 का तो मेरा एक फिक्स इनकम हो गया मेरा. एंड माई फंड अभी मैं और कंजर्वेटिव एक्सपेक्टेशंस रखता हूँ. मेरा फंड सिर्फ ग्रो हो रहा है 12% पे, ठीक है, और मैं 6% निकाल रहा हूँ. You know what, Bhavya, for the next 30 years, I will be able to, at 6%, I will be able to withdraw 2,10,000 every month, and still, at the age of 90, do you know how much corpus I would be left with?
Yeah, because compounding will be way higher.
60 crores. 4 crore का 60 crores is what I will actually be able to give it probably to my son or my grandson. So that is the magic and power, yaar. That is where this Gen Z needs to. That is what I make my son understand. करना क्या है? Just start investing early. That is most important. Don't try to time the markets. More important is the timing in the markets. How long are you invested?
Got it.
वो समझना है.
Understood.
Correct.
Right. But ये itch जो है मतलब लोगों को, which is like what you call to, because see, I mean, let's look at it from a practical standpoint. सब अभी बिकॉज इतना बुल रन हुआ है मार्केट का फ्रॉम 7,000 to 26,000, एवरीबडी इज अंडरस्टूड कि ये इतने साल में ग्रो हुआ है. एंड देन देर इज फॉर द बेटर व्हाट यू कॉल अंडरस्टैंडिंग, अ लैक ऑफ वर्ड बोल लेते हैं कि इट्स इजी मनी.
ओके,
रिटेल को ऐसा
करेक्ट
जो सच है.
करेक्ट.
एक कंज्यूमर को लगता है कि भाई आज मैंने अगर कोई मल्टी बैगर स्टॉक पकड़ लिया तो समझो लाइक 5-10 हज़ार 20 हज़ार भी डाला तो 1 लाख रुपए ऐसे ही मेरा बैठे बैठे आ गया. यस, जो सच है, यू नो इट, आई नो इट. तो वो इच के हिसाब से बेसिकली आजकल के जो लोग हैं उन लोग को ये बात मतलब कभी आई थिंक समझ में ही नहीं आती है कि पावर ऑफ कंपाउंडिंग, या कि फॉर एग्जांपल अगर ये इन्वेस्ट करते ही रहेंगे ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम तो ये इतना बड़ा कॉर्पस हो सकता है.
So see, one part of the answer was in your question only. So you told me that yes, the markets moved up from 7,500 to 26,000, and that's where these guys made a lot of money. So the issue has been that post-COVID, markets had not seen only a serious correction. और ये जो whatever you called, so in 2020 में I think around 4 crore demat accounts थे. Okay, 4 crore, and today there are 18 crore demat accounts. So the biggest growth has come in the last 4 years. So that is when, as you say, the Gen Zs have entered into the markets. And they have seen a one side rally. मार्केट्स में वन साइड रैली देखी है. जो लास्ट अभी ये अक्टूबर नवंबर में एक थोड़ा करेक्शन आया, बोलते रीजनेबल करेक्शन आया, बट उसके पहले कोई करेक्शन ही नहीं था मार्केट्स में. So stocks were hardly correcting 5-10%, and then they used to immediately recover probably in a week's time. So the problem is, इन लोग ने सीरियस करेक्शन अभी तक देखा ही नहीं. So that serious correction, I will give an example. वो February 20 में जब my certain clients, they had positions in futures में, थोड़े stocks में उन लोग की position थी. In a matter of a month, the stocks came down by 40-50%. So that's when they lost serious money. तो ये अभी इन लोग ने देखा नहीं. It has become very, so because the bull run has been such, तो they've seen easy money, so they feel कि ये markets में तो आराम से trading करके हम आराम से पैसा बना सकेंगे. We can make a career out of it. But trust me, now अब वो आगे जाके वो टाइम आएगा. And okay, I'll give you in 2024 ही ले लो. चलो 2024 में I was just reading, so SEBI had come out with this report. 93% of the traders who were investing in futures and options, they have lost money. Okay, they have lost money. Okay. And the balance 7%, they have so 93% have lost more than 2 lakh rupees. Let's go even back further. So last 3 years markets तो full bull run में था. Then why would you not have made money in F&O? पैसा बनना चाहिए था. तो भी last 3 years का भी डेटा बोल रहे हैं कि only 8% of F&O traders made money. और उसमें से भी 8% का 1% made 1 lakh or more. So now when these stats are only so unfavorable, then why do you want to dabble into it? And that is what I'm worried about. I'm seeing these 25, 28-year-old doing taking big positions in F&O. I feel like the correction आएगी, they'll be wiped off और वो फिर वो लोग कभी मार्केट्स में एंटर नहीं कर पाएंगे.
आई थिंक वो एक जैसे वो इमोशनल ट्रॉमा जैसे बोलते हैं वैसे साइकोलॉजिकल मार्केट ट्रॉमा हो जाता है.
या मार्केट and you got to stay humble, वरना मार्केट तो सिखाएगा अपने तरीके से how to stay. So you have to be really careful.
ये because like you said, ये भी एक मेरे दिमाग में था कि काफी सारे जो बहुत यंगस्टर्स लोग जिनको मैं इनफैक्ट जानता हूँ अभी, आई थिंक एटलीस्ट like 7, 8, 9, probably 10 also, जो लोग of course निकले हैं from the college and stuff like that. Of course smart chaps, because naturally in order for you to even do something in this you need to have a little bit of sanity.
Correct.
वरना possible ही नहीं हो करना. They really don't want to invest into studying further, making any sort of headway in that direction. They are like भाई trading करेंगे, investment में इसमें करेंगे and all of that, and इसमें से ही अपना career बनाएंगे. Is that recommendable?
No, absolutely not. I would never recommend that. So the first thing, now you can only enter into trading. The minimum eligibility is when you have reserves to take care of your monthly expenses for the next 3 to 4 years. So for me, that's the minimum eligibility.
Right.
उतना है reserves तो markets में पहले करो. But first, boss, you have to do a lot of learning to get into it. So there are different types of, there is fundamentals, there is technicals. There are so many terms, so much research, so much study that you have to do before you enter the markets. So I know for a lot of people, and most importantly is you have to learn discipline. चलो भाई अभी मेरे को तो भी सब लोग बोलते नहीं, I still want to trade into markets, okay? But what is the pattern? I'll tell you. Now normally, like say if you've entered into a market with a capital of 10 lakh rupees, and chalo you said I want to start trading. You buy 10 scripts, all 1 lakh each, okay? So let's assume at the end of the month you achieve a strike rate of 50% only. So 5 stocks made money and 5 stocks lost money for you.
Strike rate.
Yeah, chalo assume कि you made a fantastic 50% achieve कर लिया तो भी. Still, how will you make money? You made money in 5, you lost money in 5. How will you make money? How will you make money is when the losses in the 5 stocks would be lesser than the gains in the 5 stocks. That is how you'll make money. But अब क्या हो रहा है? अब reverse हो रहा है. That is what I see. Reverse is like the winners you will just hold it for 5-10% and you sell it off, and the losers you will hold them if they are 20-30-40% down. So I also do have a lot of clients who started. I cannot stop them. Obviously we do tell them a lot, but then there are the young blood, they want to start, they do it. But यही होता है. I've seen them. ऊपर winners में जल्दी निकल जाते हैं. Losers they hold on. How are you going to make money? It's impossible. You're not going to make money.
Yeah.
So all these things, it is as I said, I started with that. It is one of the most difficult places to make money, and trading is extremely difficult. So you need to do a lot of research, a lot of efforts have to be put in. And most important is this discipline part. You have to keep your stop losses. Stop losses in place में नहीं रखोगे in market, one stock only will wipe you out. And these guys are building positions in futures and options. I'm seeing. So futures they are buying. They've taken like a stock worth 8-10 lakh rupees. They feel that we just had to pay a margin money of 2-2.5 lakh rupees, but they've taken a position of 8.5 lakh rupees. Now if that stock comes down by like only say 20%, तो उन लोग का तो पूरा कैपिटल ही वाइप आउट हो जाता है. 20% ऑफ 8-9 लाख से 2 लाख रुपीस नियरली, तो वो पूरा कैपिटल वाइप आउट हो गया. तो ये लोग ये समझते नहीं है, और ये कोविड के टाइम पे हुआ था. So these people, they not only lost their capital, but to actually pay for their losses, they actually sold the jewels in the ground. They sold their blue chip stocks from their portfolio, and those blue chip stocks have run up by 4-5 times in the last 4-5 years. So you can imagine the amount of losses they actually incurred. So
F&O to is a juggernaut by itself. It's
yeah. So the stats only. That's why SEBI is only coming out with so much disclaimers that please
avoid F&O.
Yeah, avoid. So it's only for
F&O मतलब ऐसा है क्या? Say for example, अगर आपके पास एकदम like extra disposable income पड़ी है साइड में, जो आप गवाना चाहते हो,
हाँ,
मतलब यू आर प्रिपेयर टू लूज,
यू आर प्रिपेयर टू लूज, देन व्हाई नॉट,
देन ट्राई करो। लगा तो एकदम लगेगा बड़ा, वरना
नहीं ऐसा कुछ लगेगा नहीं, मैं वही
नहीं।
बता रहा हूँ। सो व्हाट हैपेंस,
Not
जिसके लगता नहीं इन लोग को जो 10% बढ़ता है ये लोग सेल ऑफ कर देते हैं,
हाँ।
दे बुक देयर प्रॉफिट्स, बट देन व्हेन दे आर स्टक फॉर 30-40% ऑन द डाउन साइड। तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है।
Got it.
It's more for hedging, you know, it's F&O is more for hedging. If you already owning that quantity of stocks, and then you can hedge it, you know, there are different ways you do
Got
it.
it.
But it's not to play around. You need some thrill, you need some action, go to the casino. क्यों इधर पैसा घुमाए, उधर जाओ, उधर भी उतना थ्रिल बेटर है, बेटर
More
ऑप्शन,
excitement.
more excitement, go there. Why you want to do over here?
Right, right.
So as a career, see, as I told you, first of all, you need the reserves for 3 to 4 years. You cannot depend on trading income. Okay. Rather, I would say that you start, you know, you're working somewhere else, and if your investments, your stock market investments are not, you know, income from stock markets, you're not dependent on that. That's the time when you'll make the best returns in the markets.
Got your point.
इस पे dependent मत रहो और फिर इस पे बड़ा पैसा बनेगा.
Got your point.
Yeah.
ये compounding का you asked, it's a very interesting thing that came to my head. अगर today, say for example, if you have like, what do you call, 100 rupees set aside, so then, you know, normally अपने बचपन से अपने दिमाग में हमेशा ये डाला हुआ है कि भाई अगर आपको एक अपनी प्रॉपर्टी बनानी है, आपकी प्रॉपर्टी बनानी है, ये करना है, मतलब सेटल हो जाना है लाइफ में, कि सिक्योरिटी चाहिए,
करेक्ट,
एक सिक्योरिटी चाहिए। तो समझो अगर व्हाट डू यू कॉल, आपके पास एक्स अमाउंट पड़ा है और वो आपको प्रॉपर्टी में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए, कि इफ यू इन्वेस्टेड इन व्हाट डू यू कॉल ऐसा कोई म्यूचुअल फंड या कुछ मार्केट में, या तो किसमें ज्यादा आपको बेनिफिट मिलेगा?
Yeah, so I mean, you told me that if you're looking for a house wherein you are only going to live in, okay,
right,
so then yes, I mean, I would say that okay. Go buy your house. Okay. But again, you know, if I'll talk to you about the math, it's not going to work. But still, I would say, you know, at least for the younger generation, go build your home thing. But yeah, if you're looking for an investment, then I would not recommend to buy a property, at least say in a city like Mumbai. Okay, like say in a city like Mumbai, what have been the returns in the last decade? I think the property rates, at least where we've been living, have not gone up by, not got more than 3 to 4% annualized returns.
Right.
I think, I believe you had what in 2012?
Right.
Okay, so I think what was the price in 2012? Compare it to what it is currently in your building. I don't think you've made more than 3-4% returns.
हाँ, मतलब give or take that much.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And in the same period, and any average mutual fund has given you, you know, anywhere between 12 to 14% returns. So I'll tell you the like say in 2012, had you invested 3 crores in a property in Mumbai, let me assume that has gone up to 5 crores as of today. And that same in an average mutual fund, that 5 crores, that 3 crores would have been right now easily 9 to 10 crores, at least 8 to 9 crores. So you can see the difference. And I think, so I'm from the markets, and I have data to back up for the last 35-40 years. So market has always given better returns than any other asset class.
But again, okay, now this is interesting what you say. So say for example, if somebody is sitting on 3 crores today, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, जो भी रहेगा, okay. Now, but you were saying that 3.2, 3.4, whatever, you cannot invest directly in that one go, one shot.
Correct.
Right? तो उसके लिए भी उसको फिर बाद में 12 महीना spend करना पड़ेगा. Meaning to do a staggered investment into mutual funds या कुछ भी हो, जैसा भी bifurcate करो आप portfolio.
So yes, as of now, yes, the recommendation would remain the same.
Okay.
Yeah, so we would not recommend to put a lump sum. We will put it in a staggered manner.
Got it. So instead of buying a property, मतलब मोटा मोटी मतलब what you're trying to say is कि अगर आपके पास समझो 50 लाख भी है, लेट्स अज्यूम कि 50 लाख है, 50 लाख में अगर आपको सेकंड इन्वेस्टमेंट करना है आपके घर के लिए या किसी चीज के लिए या ऑफिस लेना है, कुछ भी लेना है, व्हाटएवर, तो इंस्टेड ऑफ डूइंग दैट वो 50 लाख अगर आज आप म्यूचुअल फंड्स में डालोगे, सो देन ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ नेक्स्ट 10 साल में आपको उससे फार मोर वुड यू कॉल रिटर्न्स मिलेगा एज कंपेयर टू इन्वेस्टमेंट.
So see, Bhavya, I'm not a property expert as such. So there
Right.
could be certain, certain patches of property in India where it could be still
Of course.
providing a better opportunity.
I'm saying average wise.
Yeah, but average, like say, I am living in Mumbai. At least let me compare it with Mumbai. Easily, a mutual fund will give much better returns than any property in Mumbai.
Right.
That's a very clear answer to you. That
Okay.
I would surely put it into, into the markets.
कैसे math? Can you just break down that math for me? 50 lakhs, 50 लाख what do you call का आज rather मैंने एक समझो कोई छोटा घर ले लिया as a second investment, obviously रहने नहीं वाला हूँ मैं उसमें, and वही सेम अगर 50 लाख मैंने मार्केट में डाला तो 10 ईयर के over 10 years, can you just break down the math?
So I'm saying like say you expect in the next 10 years you're going to make 15% from the markets, 15% annualized returns that you should be making comfortably in the markets. So
Right.
So 15% below, now so 50 lakhs is going to double in the next 5 years, and then that 1 crore will again double. So 50 lakhs is going to become 2 crores. That is what my assumption is in the next 10 years. But I don't see that, the property prices which are there currently in Mumbai, it's going to go 4x from here in the next 10 years.
मतलब 50 लाख 2 करोड़ में तो नहीं
50
होगा.
लाख का 2 crore.
Unless it's an isolated case.
That's what I'm saying, that if वो कोई किधर होगा somewhere in India, that I would not be aware, but at least not here. Not here. So that again will depend on case to case. But
of course,
of late, I've not found any such opportunity, at least anywhere in India. I have not found any opportunity which could match these kind of returns.
Got it.
Even the property markets all over India have matured quite a lot. Like, if you see even in North, even in West, South, a lot of places have matured. So these kind of multifold returns. So, जैसे like in Maharashtra, we had a boom from 2002 to 2010. So that's when the property prices shot up by 8x, 10 times. But I don't think that time is going to come back again. Do you think your flat prices, whatever, say, assume it's 5 crores today, you think it's going to become 20 crores in 10 years?
No chance.
Yeah, exactly. So that is what even my assumption is.
Yeah. I mean, like 20 is far. I don't think so as well. True.
Correct.
Plus, you have I think ये इमरजेंसी फंड के ऐसा भी
emergency. So
यूज कर सकते हैं.
It's the most liquid thing that you could ever have. Now, if you want to sell a property worth 20 crores, and on the other hand, you have 20 crores के mutual funds. 20 crores के mutual fund आज बेच दो, T+2 में, यानी Monday को बेचोगे, Wednesday the amount will be in your bank. Can you say the same for your 20 crore property? Who says it might take few months, even few years also to sell that kind of a property. So that is also a very big thing. Now, to maintain a property, you might argue that I'm getting some amount of rent, but that rent is in Bombay. What is the rent? You're getting around 2-3% is rent you are getting. Okay, but uske samne even the maintenance is there for the property. So you need to consider that as well. So investment wise, any day, and I'm from the markets. I prefer always markets only. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a compelling argument for sure.
Yes.
I completely agree, because मतलब जिसके पास ये option available है where you actually can invest into something as a investment, and then जब भी मतलब अगर compounding के power से ये अगर इतना मिलता है,
correct,
तो then why would, like, and when you break it down into such examples, तो वो ज़्यादा practically मतलब वो दिमाग में बैठता है कि भाई.
And markets have given, Bhavya, see, now there have been so many events. Now, if you consider from 1990 se bhi leo, so 1990 se we are talking 34-35 years ho gaye abhi. So we had 1992 mein, you had the Harshad Mehta scam. 1999 mein Kargil war hui thi. Then again the dot-com bust in 2001 and 2. 2008 the Lehman Brothers crisis, which was one of the biggest crises. Russia, Ukraine war, COVID aa gaya, then you had demon. So many things, so many events have happened in the last 30 years, but still markets have been able to deliver 14-15% consistently. After so many events. So abhi isse bura kya ho sakta hai? Ab COVID, so which is a black swan event, so which has happened like once in a century. Even that has come, but since COVID, you see the kind of returns market has given.
Right.
So I mean, I don't think that why should markets not deliver, at least even for the next 3 decades? They can easily deliver these kind of returns and even better.
मतलब it's India growth story पे तो
India
definitely
growth story is intact.
Unless something else goes के जहाँ पे India set up in a big manner.
Yeah, it doesn't look like, at least not for now. Doesn't look like. We
Let's
cannot
hope
afford
not
to.
because
Yeah.
Got it. ये you spoke about like some of these instances, so मेरे दिमाग में actually एक सवाल आया. ये करंट मतलब अभी एक ट्रेंड में बहुत एक स्टॉक जो है एक इंडिया के वन ऑफ द मोस्ट नोटेड बिजनेसमैन एंड ऑफ कोर्स उनको लेके यूएस की अथॉरिटी को व्हाटएवर इशू है, तो मुझे जस्ट खाली समझना था कि उनका ज्यूरिसडिक्शन यहाँ पे है ही नहीं या है कि क्या है, किस वजह से मतलब उन्होंने ये सब चीजें की है. बिकॉज द थिंग इज बिकॉज ऑफ कोर्स उनके कंपनियों में भी बहुत लोग ने इन्वेस्ट किया है, you know, from that
Correct.
perspective, and it can have a detrimental effect onto these markets और ये सब चीजें. So
Hmm.
can you tell me or explain our viewers as well ये basically क्या है और क्या होता है?
So recently this episode had happened. So when the US authorities, they had passed, they had indicted this specific group, wherein they had accused them of, taking bribery or offering bribes actually to Indian government officials to procure large projects from them. So that was their accusation. So of course, India and US, they have a extradition treaty. Okay. So if US can send a formal request for the same, and they can, and so somebody can be tried in the US.
Right.
But as per government officials, they have never received any formal request from them. And even the company which was in question over here, they have also very clearly stated that if they are cleared of all the charges in India, then there is no what do you call, they cannot be tried in the US.
Got it.
But yes, I would not be knowing the in-depth legalities. I would not be knowing. But of late, one more news had come in that the guy, the Fed director who was heading this entire specific case, so he himself has given a resignation. So on that specific day, all these group stuffs actually went up by 4-5%.
Oh.
Yeah. So we don't know how it's going to pan out, but at least for now. So
but jurisdiction wise, मतलब how can they even say something like this? ना, because उनके वहाँ पे तो कुछ है नहीं. Companies तो यहाँ listed है.
So actually the thing is that at that same point of time, this group was raising $600 million from US investors. So at that time, that issue was ongoing in the market.
Right.
So after these news came out in the public, they had to withdraw that in that offer, basically. So when that was going on, so obviously they can at least inform their investors. Their government is kind of informing their investors. You can take it that way.
Okay. अच्छा. But ये मतलब काफी ऐसा लगता है कि कभी-कभी के थोड़ा सा witch hunt टाइप भी है, because not a witch hunt as such, but because एक के बाद एक कुछ ना कुछ
scenario, so कुछ ना कुछ चल ही रहा है. So obviously there was another report from one of a Heidelberg report which was there just a few years ago.
Right.
So yeah, sure, कोई तो है. There are some strong forces behind it. Somebody is behind these companies, and the kind of growth this entire group has seen in the last 8-10 years, it has been phenomenal. So even I have actually missed the bus. I have actually missed the bus.
Right.
So one of the stocks, I think the main company has given returns of 40x plus in the last 6 years. 70-70 rupees wala 2800 rupees ka bhav hai.
Got it.
I've also missed it. But even in that case, so there are certain companies that the valuations, we just could not understand the business, the valuations. So that's the reason I refrained from investing.
Got it.
And even a lot of mutual funds up till 2019, they did not have enough exposure in this group.
Got your point.
वो valuations नहीं समझ आ रहा था, तो वो था तो.
I know you can't take the name. मैं तो ले सकता हूँ obviously because.
No. That's okay. It's out in the public domain, so that's okay.
Right, yeah.
That's absolutely okay, and everybody knows what we are talking about.
Got it. Yeah. नहीं तो मतलब आज के तारीख में भी मतलब अडानी की कंपनीज में इन्वेस्ट करना is a good suggestion.
So yes, there are certain companies we still recommend. So the ones who are into manufacturing of certain products, there are certain businesses like the port business and all, where we, as I said, there is visibility. We do recommend in this recent fall also, because a lot of my clients were inquiring. So we did say that you can start with at least, if you're wanting to invest 100 rupees, then start with at least 20-25. But problem is कि 25 ही सिर्फ invest हो पाए, उसके बाद तो immediately recovery आ गई and they could not further invest. But yeah, certain companies we still recommend.
Got your point. Okay.
Yes,
ये Tata companies today, how they आज के तारीख में मतलब अभी of course unfortunately like one of the legends he passed away of course Shri Ratan Tata. उनके जाने के बाद मतलब do you think investors में हमेशा ये question है कि टाटा's companies में invest अभी करना चाहिए कि नहीं?
See, Tata Group has always been known for their ethos, their values, and more importantly, their corporate governance. Now, these companies are run by professionals. There is an entire structure which has, which is in place now. So, I don't think it's going to matter. Already, they've already announced the inheritance has been taken over here. So that is also in place. So absolutely not. There is not going to be any difference. And if you want to, so I'll tell you a very good thing. I was just talking to one of my friends who's a chartered accountant. Okay. So he used to manage one of the Tata Group's company's accounts. तो उन लोग को है ना एक बार एक वन ऑफ द ग्रुप कंपनीज को एक 3,000 रुपए का एक नोटिस आया, 3,000 रुपए का नोटिस आया कि भाई ये तुम लोग ने कुछ ओवर बिलिंग किया है या समथिंग समथिंग ऑफ दैट थिंग हैड हैपेंड. So they actually did not settle that matter. So they hired basically a lawyer. They fought a case. So they did expenses of 1 lakh rupees just to prove कि ये हम लोग पे fault allegations आए हैं. 3,500 का वो क्लियर करने के लिए उन लोगों ने 1.25 लाख का खर्चा किया. So that's the kind of corporate governance these companies are following. So it's how the business is fair. That's how the companies will
मतलब कि कंपनी के ऊपर कुछ ये झूठा कुछ क्लेम नहीं आना चाहिए कि आपने ये किया.
3,000 रुपए के लिए they hired, उन लोग ने 1 लाख का खर्चा किया just to so that they are just to clear their name.
To put the record straight कि हमने ये नहीं किया.
हम लोग ने ये नहीं था. How could you ये false allegation.
Got your point.
So such companies, such groups, whenever you get a good opportunity, you should always invest, like a Tata Motors. So Tata Motors is a stock we've always, we always used to recommend. So वो COVID में तभी I think 60-65 के lows पे चला गया था. 60-65 का 4-4.5 साल में वो 1,200 रुपए तक गया है. So like it's been a 18-20 bagger, and now it's again corrected to 750-800 levels. So again, that is a good stock.
What is up with gold? ये मतलब of course Indians जो है हमेशा गोल्ड में तो इन्वेस्ट करते ही हैं, पहले से ही सिखाया गया है, especially women जो भी है. But is it still a good investment today also?
Yes. So see, Bhavya, gold is we always recommend that you should be having gold in your portfolio. So I normally say that at least 10% of your portfolio you can have gold, okay, as gold. Now, gold is always acts as a natural hedge. In the last 1-2 years, there has been so many geopolitical risks like the war. Whenever these wars and all happen, so everybody falls back on gold as a safety, as a safty haven. So yeah, gold, and plus मैं देख रहा था like a country like China, China के reserves में they just have 5% of gold as their overall reserves में सिर्फ 5% gold है. So if a country like China, they would want to increase their gold reserves, then there will be stability in the prices, at least. I don't see much downside to it. So depending, let's see now, if there are, some risks in the global market in the next 1-2 years, तो रेस है, सेंसेक्स पहले 1 लाख जाता है या गोल्ड पहले जाता है. But yeah.
But tell me one thing, ये जैसा भी what आप बोल रहे हो कि 7 to 10% आपके पोर्टफोलियो में गोल्ड होना चाहिए. So you are meaning physical gold?
No. So
yes. So please clear that.
No. So now there are a lot of different options. So you can invest. So there are gold ETFs. There are mutual funds which invest only into gold. So you can do SIPs also into that.
Oh, okay.
So I strongly recommend do it in SIP form. So keep it digital gold. Whenever you need it, you can always sell them and buy the actual gold. So keep it more in the digital form. Where would you store so much of gold?
Got it.
And the risk of holding on to so much. So rather keep it in digital.
But ये prices अभी क्यों? Like of course gold एक time था जब 20-30 हजार रुपया था. And then अभी it went like all time high. अभी ये नीचे आना शुरू हो गया है. Why is it coming down?
So gold has actually moved up also quite a lot. The return. Again, it's just a normal correction which is happening.
Okay.
So from there was a swift move from 60 to 75 levels. So now just coming back by 3-5%, it is pretty normal. And See now Donald Trump is going to come into power. US is looking to cut interest rates. That is what Trump has said. So whenever the US cuts interest rates, it's always there is a rally in gold. So that is what I am assuming, that if that happens, then the gold prices should again start moving up.
हाँ, ये 1-2 दिन में ही एक्चुअली उन लोग का एक और repo rate का भी
वो अपना इधर का CRR cut भी also we also did a CRR cut. But if US does it, then it's good for gold. So I believe, yes, gold is a safe investment. We ourselves, our Indians, we import what 850 tons of gold every year. So that's like 7 lakh crores का तो gold हम import करते हैं. That's the kind of gold that we are, and out of that 80% is used in jewelry. So अभी gold का is going to remain. I feel that it's a safe asset. That is what I consider. Although what gold returns has given in the last 50 years, if you go to see, gold has just given 8% CAGR returns. So it's just 2%, 6% inflation pakdo, so just 2% plus inflation it has given. So returns have been okay, nothing that great. It's just in the last 20 years, I think it has given, close to 12%. That is what it's like. But still markets are beating gold in any time frame.
So एक और सिनेरियो मतलब जो दिमाग में थोड़ा आ रहा है is that जो पहले एग्जांपल जो हमने यूज किया, लाइक कोई एक यंगस्टर है जो 25,000 से कमा रहा है, एंड ऑफ कोर्स उन्होंने अगर ये मार्केट में इतना सेविंग किया, अब वही सिनेरियो में अगर समझो कोई ऐसा है यंगस्टर जो डे ट्रेडर बन गया है, ओके, एंड उसने सोच लिया है कि उसको ये पैसे से और पैसा बनाना है, वॉलेटिलिटी के वजह से मार्केट नीचे आया, फंड्स लूज कर दिए, अभी एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम अगर उसने काफी लॉसेस बेयर किए हैं पोजीशंस में, तो एंड ऑफ कोर्स नॉट FNOs, आई एम जनरली सेइंग मे बी FNOs एज वेल, आई डोंट नो, हाउ डू दे रिकवर मनी फ्रॉम हियर?
Okay. So see, if you're saying if it's not FNO, now say they would have bought certain stocks and the prices of those would have come down in the last 2 months because of the correction. So that again depends upon the quality of the stock they have bought. So, if they would have bought some kind of penny stocks in the markets, जिसका कुछ value नहीं, and it was just being, ऐसे चल रहे थे markets में, then I believe it's very difficult to get any kind of money from that. So something, say you would have bought a penny stock for 2 rupees, that's come down to a rupee. Now you expect it to go back to 2 rupees. I don't think that's going to happen. Only in few cases that happens. If the quality of your stock is nice, I told you an example of, I gave you an example of a company like Cochin Shipyard. समझो by chance you were entered at the higher levels of 2,200, 2,500. If these are, I'm still expecting this company to again, go back to those kind of prices. Then you'll have to play the waiting game in that to recover. So these are notional losses. You've not actually booked it. It's there on paper. Okay, सिर्फ नीचे है.
Right.
Then you'll have to have the patience and hold on to these kind of companies. And in fact, as I just said, I've been recommending to again add on from 1,200, 1,300 levels, so that where you can slightly average also such kind of stocks, so that overall average comes down. So that is how you can do. So it depends upon the quality of the stock.
Understood.
Okay, that is extremely important. And say if you have a really like an inferior quality stock, then I strongly recommend you should be shifting it to a better quality stock. That is what you should be doing, and especially you had got a good opportunity in October and November. So when the correction happened, so अच्छी quality के stocks भी 40-50% जब fall हुए थे, so you should always restructure your portfolio, shift and buy, and buy such good quality companies.
अभी ये हमारा जो 25,000 वाला जो कस्टमर है अपना, ओके, अगर वो ब्रैकेट में अगर वो है आज, तो टैक्स सेविंग अपॉर्चुनिटीज में किस में उसे इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए?
So there are tax saving mutual funds. We call it the ELSS, that is equity linked savings scheme. So ये tax saving mutual funds, they fall under 80cc. So that is up to 1.5 lakhs if you invest in these mutual funds. So that 1.5 lakhs will get deducted from your net income. Okay, so
right.
they fall under that. So basically, whatever bracket you are falling into it. So say assume you fall into a 30% tax bracket. So basically, you are saving around 45,000-48,000 approximately. My CA would know better, but 45,000-48,000 is the yearly saving that you can do when you are investing in this. So what are the traditional options for tax saving? Normally लोग कहाँ पैसा डालते हैं? So it's like your PPF is there. When you're investing in an LIC, so ये सब all these fall under 80C. Okay. Now a PPF is giving you around 7.25 to 7.5% is what PPF is giving you. LIC में लॉन्ग टर्म में 6.5% के ऊपर रिटर्न्स बनते नहीं है. Any tax saving mutual funds, okay, is given you anywhere between 12 to 14%. So for tax saving, I always recommend you should be again putting it into these ELSS funds only. इसमें lock-in भी सबसे कम रहता है. So tax saving mutual fund, the lock-in is only 3 years. Whereas PPF and all is much longer. I think it starts with 10 years and then the extension of 5 years and all. And even LIC is also for the long term. So a lot of my clients have made them shift to tax saving mutual funds also. That is a very good recommendation. Yes.
LIC versus mutual funds.
Yeah. That's again, that's a debate. Anyway. So see, so we normally say that rather than going for the traditional endowment plans, go take a term plan. एक term plan ले लो, so where your life is also insured, and then term plan के साथ एक SIP करो. Now just see the difference for yourself. Like say 20 years ago, you were putting 20,000 का LIC के कोई endowment plan में डाल रहे थे. So that is so what is your cover? So into 20, so that is I think some 40 lakhs का cover मिलेगा. Okay. अब उसके सामने you just take a term plan for 40 lakhs. So I believe your annual premium would have been not more than 2-3,000 rupees. I think. And balance amount you do an SIP. Now after 20 years, probably I don't know at 6%, you see the difference in the corpus after 20 years. It's huge. It's enormous. It's like 4 or 5 times bigger if you use this strategy.
Got you.
So I suggest simply term plan SIP, lethal combo.
Got your point.
Yeah.
एक last question on the IPOs. Okay. IPO, मतलब there are certain examples of like LIC से ही मेरे दिमाग में आया question actually. There are certain examples के कोई IPOs मतलब इतने मार्केट करते हैं कि भाई जैसे LIC ले लो कि इतना अच्छा होने वाला है, ये होने वाला है and all that, and everybody rushes to it. मतलब it's oversubscribed and then मतलब आता है जब ये तो पूरा it opens lower than expectations. Why?
So basically LIC was also one of the biggest IPOs that had hit the market. So the IPO size was also pretty large. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying now. So all we Indians, all of us, we associate ourselves with an LIC. So LIC एक ऐसी चीज थी. It's a trusted brand basically. So that's the reason वो उसका थोड़ा IPO का hype भी हो गया था. But insurance sector going down the line is going to do good. And now it's doing well. It's doing decent now. The prices have again come up. I think it had gone down to 550, 600 levels. It I think recently crossed 1,000. So अभी तो IPO के ऊपर चल रहा है. And I think you will make decent returns at least in the LIC IPO. Because LIC as a company is making good money.
Got it.
Yeah. We are not as one of the investors, but they are making decent money. So I'm sure you will make good returns.
Great. All right. Thank you so much, Tejas, for this chat. मजा आया. मेरे हिसाब से काफी की और इंटरेस्टिंग बातें हमने कवर की है, and I hope के viewers को भी अच्छी लगे. How did you find it?
No, absolutely. I really enjoyed. As I said, talking formally to you was a big thing for me, but I really enjoyed it. This is what we do day in and out, and I really liked it.
Great. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bhavya.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.